At 2 in the morning, while 5,000 people sleep, one officer is staring into black water, reading navigation lights far out in the dark, tracking ships you cannot even see, and making sure your floating hotel doesn't meet another one. While you're dreaming about the buffet, the bridge is basically a cave. After dark, the lighting gets heavily dimmed, often to red, because white light wrecks your night vision. And once it's gone, your eyes need 20 to 30 minutes to recover. So these officers are working in the dark on purpose. You'd walk in and think nobody's home. They'd walk in and see everything. Meanwhile, this guy hasn't moved since the pool closed. At night, there's always an officer on watch, often supported by a lookout and additional bridge crew, depending on conditions and traffic. They work in shifts around the clock, and the relieving officer? They show up early, often several minutes before handover, to sit in the dark, review the situation, and let their eyes adjust before they take over the watch. And when they swap, the outgoing officer doesn't just say, "Good luck." There's a full verbal briefing. Ship's position, course, speed, what traffic is out there, weather, anything unusual. They go over the chart together. Only when the incoming officer says they've got it does the other one leave. This is not a shift change at a coffee shop. This is a floating city moving through the dark. Now here's the thing most people get completely wrong. They hear autopilot and think the ship drives itself. It doesn't. Autopilot on a cruise ship is cruise control for steering. It holds a heading. That's it. It cannot see another ship. It cannot see a rock. It cannot see anything. If a container vessel crosses your path at 3 in the morning, autopilot will steer you straight into it and never flinch. That's why in coastal waters, heavy traffic, fog, or anything tight, officers switch from autopilot to hand steering. Because a human can read the situation, react in the moment, and make a judgment call that a machine holding a heading simply can't. Autopilot follows a line. It doesn't think. That part is still entirely human. Cruise ships carry at least 2 independent radar systems, each scanning the full horizon. Officers set them to different ranges. One might be watching nearby traffic while another scans much farther out. Every ship, every object shows up as a blip on the screen, but radar only tells you something is there. It doesn't tell you what it is, where it's headed, or whether it's about to ruin your night. That's where the ship's name tag comes in. Large commercial vessels normally broadcast their name, position, speed, heading, and destination automatically, every few seconds. Your ship picks it up and drops it onto what is basically Google Maps for the ocean. So the officer doesn't just see a mystery blip. They see a container ship doing 16 knots and set to cross ahead in 20 minutes. Suddenly, that blip has intentions. And then there's the oldest system still doing serious work, navigation lights. Every large ship shows red on one side, green on the other, with white lights, aft and above. If you see both red and green, you're looking toward that ship's bow. Only red, you're seeing one side. Only green, the other. Officers read those patterns the way you read traffic lights. Fast, automatically, and without thinking twice. Now here's my favorite part. Every cruise ship bridge has what's called a bridge watch alarm system. Think of it as a dead man switch. Every few minutes, the officer on watch has to prove they're awake. Press a button, wave at a sensor, interact with the equipment. If they don't, alarms start escalating. First on the bridge, then in the captain's cabin, and if nobody responds, every officer cabin on the ship starts going off. The ship literally tattles on you if you fall asleep. Still hasn't moved. A cruise ship and a container ship collided in the English Channel just before 1 in the morning. Fair weather, good visibility. Both ships were modern and well-equipped. Investigators found the officer on watch appeared to become confused by the amount and presentation of information while tracking heavy traffic ahead. About 5 minutes before impact, the other ship radioed a warning. They still collided. The cruise ship's bow was badly damaged, but nobody died, and both ships eventually made it to port. It showed how quickly even a modern bridge can become overloaded when traffic builds and decisions narrow. Then there is the case everyone remembers. A modern cruise ship deviated from its planned route at night and struck a rock off the Italian coast. The systems were there. The charts were there. But bridge discipline and route procedures broke down. 32 people died. It is a hard reminder that at sea, technology matters, but procedures and judgment matter just as much. But the bridge crew isn't alone out there. In major traffic areas, there may also be shore-based traffic services monitoring nearby ship movements and issuing warnings by radio. Think of it like air traffic control, but for the ocean. So even at 3 in the morning, there could be a team on the bridge and a team on land keeping watch over your floating hotel. And if you think that's impressive, ships used to do this with stars. 57 stars that navigators memorized, a sextant to measure angles, and a knotted rope dragged behind the ship to measure speed, which is literally where the word knots comes from. The U.S. Navy still trains on celestial navigation today. Some things you don't replace, you just add layers on top. So what do you actually notice from your cabin? Almost nothing. Maybe a slight vibration, maybe a turn so smooth you think you imagined it. Maybe a foghorn at 3 a.m. if you're in a forward balcony. One long blast every 2 minutes. The ship saying, "I'm here to everything nearby." And that little judder at 6 in the morning. That's the ship docking. The night watch got you there while you were still dreaming about tomorrow's port day. Officers watching in the dark, radar scanning the full horizon, a digital chart tracking ships for miles, navigation lights running on rules older than most countries, a dead man's switch that won't let anyone sleep on the job, and a shore team backing it all up. That's what happens while you sleep. Sleep tight. The bridge has it from here. Happy cruising. Don't forget to subscribe. And somebody wake him up. We docked 20 minutes ago.